saved from the blizzard's embrace, found in desperate flight, collapsed after rescuing a mother-to-be, rejected by opulent carriages at dawn's light gather round the fire. Ladies, as the tale unfolds under a sky heavy with secrets. It's February 1875, the rugged plains of post-Civil War Montana, where winter claws early, as if it's got one last story to growl before slinking away. The wind dances slow and sly through skeletal poplars, skimming the frost-kissed sugarcane fields like a lover's hand on brittle parchment. Snow blankets the porch of a weathered cabin, muffling the world into a hush so deep it aches. Inside, the hearth roars not for cozy bliss, but duty, keeping the flame alive, not for comfort, but because that's the pact you make living solitary, when silence howls louder than a wolf's cry. Ezekiel Hart wasn't cut from storyteller's cloth. His face a rugged map of sun-scorched days and buried grief bears wrinkles like battle scars across his brow. His broad shoulders slump under an unseen burden, moving with the caution of a man who knows one wrong step could unravel his fragile thread of existence. The coffee boils black on the iron stove, its bitter scent filling the air. He doesn't taste it just a ritual. By the window, he watches frost etch lacy patterns on the glass, patterns he never dares touch. Beyond the pane, the prairie lies barren, a ghostly expanse where green fades from memory. A town lingers beyond the horizon, but Ezekiel hasn't ventured there in weeks. No point. The pantry clings to dried beans, cured bacon, and a wax-sealed honey jar his late wife, Esther, left behind. He keeps it, unopened not for love's sake, but a whisper of hope from years ago, before hope turned to a forgotten chore. Esther slipped away with a whisper too soft to catch, but Ezekiel swore it was his name on her lips. No scream, no cry from the unborn child, whose name never graced paper. The room after was sterile, no chaos, no miracle, just a void. He quit the church then. Once, Reverend Hale visited, his voice dripping with hollow comfort. Ezekiel nodded, murmured thanks, and never sought him again. Near noon, his eyes catch odd tracks by the fence, not deer, not wolf. Barefoot, featherlight, barely denting the snow, they wobble like a drunk's stumble, yet smaller. Heart-pounding, he grabs his worn duster and follows. Old Bess, his mare, nickers from the stable, but he presses on. The trail snakes to a ravine, its icy slope a death trap even in spring. Wind bites his cheeks raw, but his boots crunch forward with purpose. Around a bend, he freezes. There she is, curled like a question in the snow, arms cradling her swollen belly, half her face veiled by wild black hair and sleet. Her calico dress frays at the hem, her shawl sodden. One hand shields her unborn, the other digs into the snow, mid-crawl. His breath catches. This could shatter him again. He kneels, gentle as a prayer, pressing fingers to her neck, a faint, stubborn pulse. Her breaths rasp, shallow. That bulge mystery in life tells him she's near her hour. Alone. He lifts her, careful as glass, her murmur lost to cold and fatigue. Her face, young yet lined with flight and shame, speaks of a past this land condemns. Dusk cloaks them as he shoulders the door, her weight warm against his chest. The fire's nearly dead. He lays her by the hearth, stoking flames that leap like hungry hands toward her stillness. Silently, he peels off her wet layers, wrapping her in Esther's quilt stitched with bleeding fingers. A memory that spurs him faster. By midnight, as a storm batters the windows, her eyes flutter open, dazed. "Where am I?" she croaks, voice like gravel. "You're safe," Ezekiel rasps, his voice rusty from disuse. Maybe not. Her gaze sharpens, wary. Her hand finds her belly, and a relieved sigh escapes as the child stirs. "You found me," she whispers. He offers warm broth in a tin cup. She takes it with trembling hands. Silence settles. Softer now. "I've trudged 2 days," she murmurs, avoiding his eyes. "Thought I'd find shelter. Didn't expect snow or you." He listens, like he'd hear the fire crackle or the roof groan. "I'm Lila," she adds. Ezekiel nods. Ezekiel. Her tired smile flickers. Sounds like a man of honor. He tosses another log on, saying nothing. That night, he watches her sleep, hand on her belly, wind wailing like a wounded beast outside. Inside. Breath 2 souls. One yet to arrive gives the fire purpose. Morning brings a gray sky with hope. He brews coffee, cooks oatmeal with dried huckleberries, a rare treat. She eats quietly, grateful yet guarded, as if kindness hides a trap. "I'll leave when I'm able," she says, eyes down. "No one's forcing you." Her lips quiver, then still. She's been judged, he sees it. Her eyes hold tales he won't ask. Her silence the rest. She's wounded, not weak. Later, while she rests, Ezekiel checks the fence. Snow thins, hinting at thaw. This land, his self-made tomb, feels alive again. Someone else breathes here, but dawn shatters the peace. A knock 3 hard raps ushers in cold and Sheriff Grayson's squinting gaze under a Stetson. "Hart," he drawls. Rumors of a guest. Ezekiel blocks the door. Just keeping peace? Folks sniff scandal a mile off. Silence. Grayson peers inside. "She's no trouble," Ezekiel says, voice like granite. "Heard a girl from Sage Hollow vanished pregnant. Unwed. Preacher tangled in it. Know anything just that?" Grayson sighs. "Watch your back." This town remembers. The door shuts. Lila stands by the fire, shawl tight. "I'm sorry," she whispers. He sees her fear, her burden. "You owe no apologies," he says firmly. Next dawn, opulent carriages roll up gleaming wood, gold trim, a procession against the mud. Men in black coats and top hats ride alongside. Lila trembles at the window. "They're here." She breathes. Ezekiel nods. "Want to go with them?" No answer. "Want to stay softer?" He eyes her, then closes his eyes. "I want your peace." The lead door opens. A silver-haired woman steps out regal, eyes sharp with concern and wealth. Lila meets her, clutching her child. Whispers, tears, a choked laugh. Lila shakes her head, then nods. The woman glances at Ezekiel, softening. Crates arrive silk, fruit, a dove-carved cradle. No one enters without Lila's nod. That night, carriages glow under lanterns like fallen stars. But no one leaves. The baby, Eli, sleeps in the cradle. Lila sits by Ezekiel, knees brushing. "I could go start anew with help," she says. He nods. "It won't be the same." She takes his hand, a silent vow. Outside, wind shifts, cool and seed-laden. A rider gallops up, shouting. The preacher confessed Lila's clear. Her aunt offers a home. But Lila whispers, "Peace is here." Choosing Ezekiel. The carriages depart, leaving roots to grow.